Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Say That Again. And as always, I'm your boy AG, and I'm joined with my man KG the Kid. What's going on with it, baby?
What's going? What's good? What's good? Yeah, we back again, episode 3 in full effect. Let's get it. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, it was a good weekend for me, you know. So big news, Super Bowl winners, Patty Mahomes, boys. Already GOAT conversations, bro. Already.
Absolutely.
Is it like
man,
that?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Like I predicted. I said a 3-point game. I got the score wrong, but I said about 3 points. I said 24-21, I believe.
2 touchdowns. You can't take credit for that, cuz.
Oh, absolutely, I can. I can definitely
can't take credit for 2 touchdowns.
Oh yes.
Just because you say, walk-off game winner, I could, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
whoever had the ball last. Whoever had the ball.
You know.
But nonetheless, to say it was a great weekend. Spend time with the kiddo and, you know, a little bit of family. It's a holiday in the U.S. So
did you have a good Valentine's Day? Because I know how much you love you some holidays.
Oh man, Valentine's Day was great. I got the wife what she asked for. She got me some new kicks. Got me some new lighting for the podcast, so I'm loving that. So, and we always like to end the night off watching the love movie. This year it was Titanic, so we watched Titanic. It was great. So,
old school classic.
Oh,
Everybody
absolutely.
Gotta love
Titanic. And then I tell anybody, you know, you don't have to go out to eat. You don't have to, you know, spend a whole lot of money. If you want to, you can. I always say, whatever you do, remember, you may not be materialistic, you may not be this, you may not be that, but you can be that for somebody else. So I say I can be that for you. Just how you look at it.
It is how you look at it. But overall, you know, hope you had a great Valentine's Day. Everybody listening, of course. Hope you all had a great Valentine's Day, too. Had a good day myself. Can't complain, you know. But at the same time, got bigger news. And with Patty Mahomes winning the Super Bowl and the Chiefs, it kind of boiled down to the game kind of came down to essentially what I had said would happen would be a real good matchup between the O-line and the defensive line. And essentially, I was wrong because I thought the D-line would get that penetration and beat the number 1 O-line. But in this case, you got to give credit to the Kansas City offensive line for giving up no sacks to the number 1 defensive sack team in the league and had been all year. As good as Jalen Hurts and the offense played, when that offensive line at Kansas City needed to step up, it did in a big way. And although I had it going the other way, I do think that is what made the difference.
That time is not that long, but
Patrick Mahomes showed up, and when Patrick Mahomes got time,
didn't play well.
Patrick Mahomes gonna eat you alive.
They just didn't. So on both sides, the turnover that Jalen Hurts committed was self-inflicted. So you take that away, trying to move around. That's been the only turnover again. I thought it was great tackling.
The ball recklessly.
Even though it wasn't like dominant stops, the tackling was clean and hard at the same time. And I can appreciate that from the game. So I loved it. Obviously, we didn't want it to end on a holding call. Me personally, I wouldn't have called that, but it was the right damn call. So for all you people who can't see it, are blind or oblivious to whatever you want to be oblivious to, and you only want things to go right when it's your team or whoever it is, you like to look past it. But if you look at it, he grabs, it's not the second clip, but he grabs his jersey and impedes him on the first time. You can see the grab of him going. Again, personally, I would have preferred no call. I'm not gonna lie, but for people to sit up here and act like they're gonna be satisfied because we see LeBron go up and get fouled and everyone loses their mind saying Lakers could have won, but they went to overtime. We wanted to see more time. We wanted to see Jalen Hurts get the ball. So Lakers and Boston go to overtime. It's all Gucci. LeBron loses his mind, though, because he wanted that call. And the same person who wanted the call saying it shouldn't have been a call. Sometimes you just need to shut up, bro. That's why LeBron James gets booed at Phoenix Stadium. Because sometimes you need to shut up and just play the game because you contradicting in what you say. So you can't ask for something and then turn around and say, I prefer not, because you're a fan. So now you see what the fans want. The fans ain't want to see you at the free throw line to miss free throws anyway. Let's go to OT. See what happens, boss man. That's what you get.
Yeah. And for all I hadn't seen them. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. How many, like, who's out there saying that the hold didn't happen? Because I think, the majority of the arguments I've seen is just basically exactly what you alluded to, is the fact that we don't agree with the call. That's not all that's being said, though. We may not have made some people saying it didn't impede and didn't do this. They making man
the
tugged on his jersey, so the call's the call, So
he put.
Well, I mean, one could argue about whether or not the hold actually held him back. Did he really?
No, but without the hold,
would he have caught that ball?
Patrick Mahomes to give him the ball.
I'd go out on the thinnest of limbs and say no.
Differently based off that. Remember, we talking split seconds a second. Remember, we talk about Mahomes got a lot of time. That's 4-5 seconds. Remember, and when you're a quarterback, you hike the ball, you count to 1, 2, 3, you better get the ball off. So at the end of the day, we talking seconds. We're not talking, when we talking time in NFL and NBA, the time works a little bit differently. So we got to understand that. So yes, that little bit of a difference that that hold could have caused a difference. We don't know. Again, I feel y'all. I would have preferred it not being called, but I feel we've been in too many instances where things have not been called and we all lose it. The Saints, a la the Saints, a la LeBron, a la we can name a lot of things where we like the ref should have called it, but then everybody said we don't want the refs involved. So we can't pick. We need to pick what we want. We want the ref to decide it or not. Because if it was you, I put it like this: if it was you, you want that call to win the Super Bowl. You don't care what time it is as a player. You get what I'm saying? So if because it wouldn't phantom like the tuck rule that they made up.
And you got no,
you know what I'm saying?
And you got no remorse taking it.
So again, we have to pick. I felt it was made up. That was whatever tuck rule, it was made up. That was a fumble. It's a fumble. Whatever.
They didn't make up the tuck rule. What do you mean?
It was a fumble.
Phantom.
Fumble.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't. It might have been a stupid rule. It happened in a game earlier that season. Same situation. Again, agree to disagree on whether you think the rule should be in place. But the rule was in place, and as the rule,
that's a fumble.
It was the tuck rule.
But I
ain't going forward. It happened early in the year. It was a rule. They didn't just make that up on Sunday night in the middle of the snow. But yeah. So shout out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Shout out Andy Reid, the coaching. A lot of that goes under the radar. Everybody, that's the gift and the curse about being a quarterback. You're gonna get all the praise, but you get a lot of blame. So hey, take it as you give it. But shout out to Andy Reid, because I did see a lot of people appreciating the way he coached that game and the way things, hey. And he can't be overlooked, because even before Patrick Mahomes came along, Andy Reid was a great coach. He was already winning 10 to 12 games a season. He had been to Super Bowls. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is getting him over the hump, and together they both look astronomical. But even without Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid has proven he can take you to the playoffs with Alex Smiths. Meanwhile, you got a coach up in New England who's called one of the greatest coaches of all time, who can't seem to do a hot damn thing without a man named Tom Brady. So,
shout out Big
different
Red,
argument for a different day. But shout out Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs who win Super Bowl 57.
If anyone goes out and watch that halftime show, don't bother coming back. That's real. That's real. So in regards, yeah, shout out Big. So what? I didn't really, me personally, the halftime show wasn't that great.
And shout out Andy Reid.
We gotta put this in perspective now. I was singing every song because she has a great. Some of the songs I forgot. Run This Town. She got hits. I would have loved that she maybe would have brought Jay-Z out or Drake for either the work or to Run This Town.
I told you
I would have
she
preferred
got
a little
hits.
bit of
her song.
But I sang every song, so I love the optics. The optics were great, but like I said before, I never looked at her as a performer, and I don't have nothing against it, but I didn't like I don't like the whole, she did this, she was pregnant and all that. I really wasn't a big fan of that overall. Not the fact that she's pregnant, but I wasn't a big fan of, look what she's performing at the Super Bowl and she's pregnant and while and bringing and promoting all that. I wasn't a big fan of that. I thought it was a little bit dangerous. I know I wouldn't want my wife on the stage pregnant. That being a little dangerous. I'm sure they was safe, but I really didn't. I didn't feel that a lot personally, and because I think that hindered her performance of if she could have performed. Shout out to the. I'm glad she's healthy. She has a healthy baby. Nothing wrong, but I just prefer. I don't want to watch somebody pregnant. So I just don't want to. I prefer.
And that was her first performance in years.
Yeah, I love seeing pregnant women. I just
and her first one's gonna be a pregnant performance.
That's all. And that
was a little odd.
Oh, optics were great, man. Great.
Yeah, and again, I think it started off nice. Okay. The tone got set early, and I did like that. But I think there's too much emphasis on background dancers. If maybe because it was Rihanna, maybe because obviously her being pregnant, they know they kind of had to put a little bit into the movement, into something else. But I don't know if it's too many. I don't know if it's just maybe the style of the dance. I'm not sure. But I feel like I was engulfed with background dancers, with side pieces. And I'm less focused on. I kept having to come back to Rihanna to see what she's doing, or. And then another thing too, I was thinking too. We keeping it a buck. I ain't seen nothing about it, but I really wanted to ask, but I didn't ask. Was she lip syncing, or was she singing?
Again?
Because there was a couple moments, bro, where just
that's what it seemed like.
It sounded like she just
that's what it seemed like. That's what it felt like in my opinion.
Like she
that's why I say
ain't got no volume. The volume's coming from the speakers.
Her performing, I wasn't.
That's just me. Maybe that's just
compared to what we've gotten before. I would have preferred maybe she wait and give us a better performance because we're watching and we want to see her greatness at her best.
Yeah.
So, but that's not to say she can't be at her. I don't want to knock it, but because she is pregnant, so we also have to understand that. But I prefer to see her at her absolute best and can do everything because maybe it's hard for her to hit those notes while she's pregnant. I don't know, right? I will never be able to be pregnant. Not know that I want ever be pregnant, but I respect. Also you got to give her respect for having the courage to do it as well.
Good point. Good point.
Sometimes I prefer go ahead and wait. Have your child, raise your child, and then come back and do it the big. Yeah, she could have did next year or the year after and come back and do it that way, because it did look like I was getting.
She could have did next year.
I was getting cheated out of a performance that could have been a lot better by Rihanna. Because
Actually,
at the end of the
been
day, we compare Super Bowl performances, and it's not that I'm trying to compare a black woman versus a black woman, a black man versus a black man. But in this world, we have comparisons. In this world, we have sports. Who's better? Who's number one? Who's number two? Who's number three? And overall, of optics wise, it was beautiful, but it was not a great performance compared to some of the performances we've seen in Super Bowls. And that has to be said. And a lot of people don't want to say it because you don't want to sound mean or insensitive to her. But the fact that she was pregnant, so you want to show her, hey, dang, look what she did while she was pregnant. But hey,
Yeah.
we deserve as fans and watching and supporting her, we deserve her best. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime with the entertainment business, I always feel like you got to try to sell your best product. And, you know, the exposure she got from being the Super Bowl halftime show is incredible. But at the same time, it's as fans, we still, some of us are left wanting a little bit more, knowing we probably could have got it too.
Great game.
But
that's
that's
the
Super
game.
Bowl
It's one
halftime
of the
show
best
for
games we've seen in a while. That's the main thing. We had a lot of firsts. Had a lot of great people at the Super Bowl. It overall it went well. Another thing that I loved about the Super Bowl,
Great weekend.
flying over, it was all women. That was great. All the women pilots. That was great to see. That was amazing to see. I didn't know that had never happened before, and to see that was amazing.
all the women pilots.
Shout out to the NFL. Shout out to making that recognized and making that to be normal, a normal stat. Because you know, if you can fly, no matter what color, race, what gender, go ahead and fly them things good. Shout out to those. Shout out to them. Yeah, go ahead and fly. You know, shout out to those women though. That was great. And the national.
Go ahead and fly.
And I was nervous about the national anthem. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Spread your wings and fly.
That was a country singer, correct? I don't really like. I like just straight pipes national anthem, or like maybe an instrument playing on the national anthem.
Yeah, Chris
So
Stapleton.
I was nervous about this one. I was like, oh man, it's a country run. It's gonna be maybe like the Fergie one at the All-Star game. But I must say, I went, downloaded some of his stuff. It was really, really good. I loved it. It was great. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him up there with Whitney because
he was good. I had some people, I had some friends putting him straight up there with Whitney already. Now, admittedly, I didn't, and I noticed I did say put him up there with him because some of them are gonna make it seem like I just said put him past Whitney, and I didn't say that they said that they put him past Whitney.
Absolutely.
But if Whitney was up there, he right there too. So
I was nervous.
That's what
he didn't
surprise
surprise me how he looked or anything.
Other
like
people
that.
did think
when
he put
started
on a great
off
national anthem
and
too.
the way he was doing it, I was like, I don't know. But he kept. I was like, man, this is rolling. And I was like, and I listened to it a few more times because you got to give credit where credit is due, and you have to give something that's great. It's proper props, and he was really, really great at that national anthem. So shout out to him. Definitely looking forward to looking at more of his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was great.
Oh yeah.
So
Definitely
next news,
got a few friends,
moving on from the
that
Super
are real
Bowl.
big
Can't wait to
fans
next
of
year.
his, and I like him
about
too.
6 months off from football.
I like him too.
So moving on here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the new USFL. Shout out to The Rock. Hope the league does well. I wish it would have came out a while.
NBC
I wish
says
it would have
6
came out
weeks.
about 12 years ago. Maybe I could have had my
Shout
chance
out
to try out
to SFL.
because I wasn't gonna make the NFL. but maybe I could have made that. but
man, look, even the USFL, even these dudes right here is I don't want to call them NFL rejects, but
I felt
they
that
still
would have been
quality guys
football.
who just
12, 13
might
years,
be on that
14 years ago.
little bit more to get over
Definitely.
that NFL hump. So
Definitely.
the USFL
Again,
is definitely
we going
still
back
quality
in time,
football.
so tongue in cheek. Yeah. So in other news, some serious note.
Tongue in cheek.
We had
For those
a
listening
train
audio
derailment
version, tongue in cheek, tongue in cheek.
closer to your part of the demographic. That's looks like it's getting It looks like it's getting pretty bad. Talk to me about that.
Yep. The geographic. Geographic. Yeah, man. If y'all hadn't heard already, you got a derailment, train derailment in kind of like a northeast Ohio. About, I could be off by a couple miles, but it's like 80 miles, 100 miles outside of Pittsburgh, going west. So again, this happened on February 3rd. My thing with it is the media coverage, like how serious of an event this really was, and how a lot of the country is not knowing about it for days later. And even me being in my geographical region in Louisville, Kentucky, very close to Indianapolis, very close to Cincinnati, all of Ohio cities, you got Columbus, you got Cleveland, you got all these as you move up north, and yet you have a massive train derailment with chemical toxins being spewed from it, burning, and yet my area, which is still only maybe 3 to 5 hours away, is I didn't hear about it till like 3-4 days later. And again, I'm into national news. I'm deep into national news. World news, I take it as I can get it, but national news, I'm a step ahead when it comes to national news, because I'm obviously living in America, and then everybody should be hip to their local news. Okay. So I didn't, obviously that wouldn't be local news to either one of us, but I feel like that is an event that actually should have been brought to the forefront, because not only do you need a potential help situation, recovery situation, but you also have an event that could have affected millions of others in the surrounding region. So with that being said, this train released chemical toxins. There's already, within a week later, 2 weeks later, we talking about surrounding areas being affected, talking about how their water's being affected, how the crops are being affected, how cattle is being affected, cows, animals, goats, sheep, ranchers and farms that people have with these animals and livestock, that their livelihood, their life is based off of that. And all of a sudden, all your assets just die because of an airborne substance, or maybe because the water well that you pumped it from now is contaminated and just killed all your animals. How do you deal with that? That is a tough situation. Which, again, my only peeve is that it makes it seem like the media covers what they want to cover. And I have people in my area now asking if I heard about the train derailment. I found it odd that I heard about it 3 days, 4 days after. And here they are asking me about it 11, 12 days later.
It's a very high risk that this could go into the Ohio River.
It's not adding up. It's not adding up. Yeah.
The Mississippi. Right?
Nearby surrounding water regions is affected that lead into the Ohio River. And guess what the Ohio River flows into? The Mississippi River. Yeah. And which is the biggest river in the United States. But that's all, though. No biggie, right? No biggie. No. We got a situation on our hands, and yet it just doesn't seem like anybody really rang the alarm on it. Yeah, it was they let it control burn after a certain amount of time, but once the damage is done, the damage is done.
Yeah.
Sad situation. Because now you got
a total
thousands of
5
people
million
affected.
people affected in that area
Right
from
there.
the article I was
Then
reading.
you got millions of others in the surrounding area affected.
Well, will
Big
be. That's the potential. Absolutely. No, that's nothing to play around with.
Will be. Especially through the water. Like one of my movies, V for Vendetta. If y'all have ever seen that movie, another great movie to watch. That'll open your mind a little bit about what these governments can and will do, and the best method to do it. And one of the best methods to do it is through the water system. Especially in a first world country. In a first world country that has water, put it in the water system. You'll contaminate everybody who drinks it. Uses it, much less drinks it. Showers. Forget drinking it. I can go buy a bottle of water that I believe is safe. Can I take a shower? Can I clean my body with that water? Or do I have to use the bottled water to clean myself too? Do I have to fill my bathtub up with bottled water? How is this affecting my life? How is this affecting other people's lives around? And that's why, again, before I hop off, it's just like the coverage isn't there. It's almost like the urgency isn't there. Oh, it's just a train.
Any
no biggie.
information on how
it
the
did that,
train
but
crashed?
almost like China
What
brushing off the
malfunction was
spy balloons. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weather balloon. Don't even worry about it. Just go on about your business. Right off the bat, I don't know. Something to do with the brakes, if I'm not mistaken. As I was kind of reading and diving into it, is discrepancy over brakes and stuff like that. But at the moment, I don't know exactly. Like, I don't think nobody was directly injured or impacted from the derailment itself. Only the subsequent actions of after the derailment. Total thing was like 141 cars, 50 of them got derailed. So I right off the bat, I'm not even 100% sure what may have caused it, but I know they already talking about some brakes or something. They've been talking about it for years apparently. But I think I even pointed this out last episode. It takes bad shit like this to happen for us to be reactive on certain things. And here you might have two organizations and businesses arguing about a brake system, about whether or not it should be used and what the cost effective might be. Meanwhile, you got a train blows up because of it, and it takes people to die.
Same thing to do with the stop sign.
Or get egregiously affected for them to say, you know what, we probably should have just went ahead and did them brakes anyway. Forget what they cost. Too little, too late.
So many deaths. Oh, we'll put a light here now, when maybe we could have put a light there before death, or maybe after the first death, for people running a stop sign at a busy intersection.
Yeah.
So, and when we talking about the government, let's get into government gun control. We just had another mass shooting at Michigan State University. 3 poor souls have passed away. Looked like promising college students, and it was 2 young females and a male. And a very sad story. There's another 5 people in the hospital right now fighting for their lives. So let's keep that in mind. And the gunman, Anthony McCrae, 43 years old, ended up committing suicide. So we have a total of 4 deaths in this, again, mass shooting in America. And it's so hard to talk about, for people to talk about. I want to know, in regards to these shootings, because this person had been in trouble with the law for guns, different stuff. But besides, because some people don't even have trouble before they commit a mass shooting in their life. What can we do obviously I respect the right to bear arms. I respect that. But what I don't respect is, why do we need gun stores with semi-automatics? Why do we need these massive guns? Why can't, I think the massive guns should be reserved for law enforcement, should be reserved for military, should be reserved for people who need that to protect us. You know, so it's a slippery slope, because you best believe I got my piece for my family, and I believe everyone deserves that. But I don't have no crazy semi-automatic. No, I'm a person who flashes my piece on the internet like some people do, which I think is idiotic. You know, I think police officers, I showed you the other day, police officer showing, for what? Why? Excited, I got a gun. Correct. What could he do? For what? Why do that? That, to me, that's cause for, to me that's cause for concern, because that goes to that, what I talked about last time, that power dynamic, right? Behaviors.
It's the way it makes them feel inside.
Little things like that matter. Because if you have certain power or you have something, you don't have to show it like that. You don't have to do that. And, you know, I know I'm going a little long here. I want to definitely hear your point on it, and we go back and forth a little bit on this. But I'll let you go, and I'll go what I feel what needs to be done to assist in these mass shootings, because I'm really, really getting sick and tired, because I could be at a store, you could be at a store. We just don't know. My kid could be at school. This shouldn't be the way that people are passing away. So many people are passing away every year.
Yeah. No, I can't agree with you more. It's sad situations when you have these, but you know, like you said yourself, I'm very pro Second Amendment. I do believe that, you know, we should be able not only to, you know, bear arms, but, you know, for protection ourselves. And then not only that, when you dig deep down, it's really not only to protect yourself from your so-called friendly neighbor, but it's to protect the mass people from tyrannical governments, from tyrannical militias that come together who create tyranny for people who don't have these weapons. So as a whole, on the surface, we need to keep that Second Amendment. You need to make sure that the civilians of the country are able to have that. That way you don't have Al-Qaeda's, Taliban type militias that can just come together and just take over, because the civilians will fear for their life then when they don't have anything to protect themselves against. So that's a side note. That's why I'm always going to be for it. But when you have situations like these, again, if you notice, always mass shooters, they go for unprotected places. Like, why do they shoot up schools? Why do they shoot up churches? Why do they shoot up these type of places? You've never heard anybody just walk in a police station and open fire. Go ahead and walk into a gun store and fire. They'll do it at Walmart, but they're not firing at the local gun store. So that's where the Houston situation comes to mind, with the young man that was robbing the restaurant, and then you got the guy that shoots him. Okay, now he went overboard in his aggression, which is why he will be held responsible. But just to neutralize him, he was robbing a restaurant because he did not think somebody would pull a gun on him in that place. He didn't want to go rob a liquor store or maybe even a convenience store, because the guy's liable to have a gun. So when you look at these shootings in schools, that's why they do that. But let's bring it around to your point with like ARs and stuff like that. if he can't get his hands on an AR, and would he do the same thing with a handgun? We don't know. Was his motivation to do what he did that deep, where he's like, I would have did this with any gun? Again, to your point, do certain guns make certain people feel a certain way, which does push them over the edge? Like the handgun didn't quite do it. You know, like they talk about drugs and gateway drugs. Nobody goes straight to cocaine. You know what I mean? They lead off with weed, and then all of a sudden they get into heavier things. Kind of like with the guns. The handgun doesn't give him that itch to make him want to go into a school and essentially off some people. Oh, but that AR, just the way that AR feels in my hand, oh man, yeah, I might want to go up in a school and do something with this. So is banning ARs and heavier guns that you're talking about, is that a start? Is that even a start somewhere to get us to that next place to where things like this happen minimally? We don't live in utopia. And I know many people are just, you can't be afraid to live life at this, when you have it at this extremes. People are afraid to go out and live life. You're afraid to go to the store. You're afraid to go to school now. You want to be homeschooled. I don't even want to go to high school, because Columbine, which was one of the first things to set off mass shooting hysteria. Nobody wants to go to school. Nobody wants to go to stores anymore. They're just going to stay home, chill, stream Netflix, watch movies all day. I don't even have to go shopping anymore. I'll have Uber Eats bring that shit to me. So with all that, is that a start? You know, that's kind of my take on it. It's where do we begin? Because you got to start somewhere to get reform going. But I'm also against just saying that a civilian can't bear arms. And side note, he did get in trouble, I believe I read, but he was not a convicted felon. Yeah, I mean, you get caught up, you know, hey, look, misdemeanors, but at the same time, I'm thinking,
we're not judges, and
what he got in trouble for, should he have been deemed to not be able to have a gun
should have been
legally
considered
at all?
Absolutely. And where we start is like what you said before. I just believe there's no reason for everyday folk to have those type of weapons. Let folks get their 9mm, handguns, no problem. But there's no reason for folk who maybe not hunting, farmers, there's no reason for normal folk, if you're in the police, and to have those type of guns. I think that's where we start. Not allowing regular civilians to purchase those type of guns. Second, the schools, wherever we pay our tax dollars to, we need to have police officers at every school in America. It's not going to cost that much at all. That's one thing you could do. Because I just noticed this. I don't know if you noticed it, bro. Dude in California just won a lottery for $2.7 billion. You know how much he took home? Because he took a lump sum. You know, guess how much he took home?
$2.7 billion. I think the lump sum would have been cut in half. So you're looking at probably 1.3, and then he paid the taxes on that. He probably took home about he took it in a lump $600 million.
But with that being said, where's the other $1.6 billion going to? Because obviously everyone knows how a lottery works, right? The reason why it keeps going up is because we, as a society, keep buying the tickets to make it go up. Let that sink in, y'all. So if we can come up with $2.7 billion as a society by playing the lottery, right? That's your chances of winning.
We
slim to none.
We play
it's other ways we can come together as a society and all succeed. FYI. But with that being said, You can take that $1.6 billion and guess what? You can have an additional 2 or 3 officers on campus to protect the schools. Not saying that it will stop it 100% because you're gonna have people that try things, but you'll think twice. And with in certain things, you know, Brady, you can't just So that means having somebody think twice.
Of course, you'll
so
think
much
twice if you know somebody already will be there with a weapon,
or just go think, or not think at all about anything or repercussions. That's what I mean by not think at all. Meaning, if I go do this at a school, like you say, I ain't got to worry about nothing. Ain't nobody there. But if you have them think, oh, I got people here, I can't just walk and do this. Maybe I can kill myself. Maybe I'll kill myself because I ain't gonna be lucky going to kill other people because they eventually end up killing themselves. So I don't understand what
because
go.
What that's What they not gonna want to get there and get shot before they accomplish their goal. Yeah, he still might offer himself.
Absolutely.
But he ain't gonna want to walk down the street and all of a sudden get shot without at least taking somebody with him because he'll feel unaccomplished. That's not what he's going there for. So, like you said, if he knows that's the point, that's why he don't bust up in a police station because he might actually get shot before he could even get shot off. So it'd be like, damn, what the hell? That's a game over. Like, you just lost. You just bust up in that door for nothing. But but at the same time, I do think they are starting that with a lot of high schools and middle schools and stuff because it's easy. 1 or 2 smaller areas. Is putting that many officers feasible on a university campus? Can you have
them on campus.
1 to 2 officers?
I would say not in every hall,
building,
but in a general area.
We both did the university experience.
You have on guard.
We both graduated. It's and in this case, they probably kind of is, but sad part about it is he busts up in one of the halls and the nearest one is maybe 2 buildings over. Like literally, if we being honest, maybe like a minute of running time, 60 seconds. It might have took the guy, as soon as you hear shots, it might have took him 40 seconds to run to the building where he thought.
This can happen at a movie theater.
That's not that far, but at the same time, it's like I wasn't in the building and I didn't see this guy enter with this gun.
Establishments like movie theaters, they should have
real tough
security. If you're going to have certain things, go ahead and have security. It's just like at a club, anything like that, it's security there to make sure these things do not happen for the people. So we have to understand, because it seems like these people who do these heinous acts like to do it, like to get a crowd of people. So it's about the crowd of people gathering. So if we having multiple gatherings of people, we need to have the right security in there for those gatherings. And I believe if we want to talk about funds, and if a government official ever hear this conversation, I know it can be done based off the lottery. Again, I want that government official or whoever run that. Where's that money going? Where is he won 2.7 billion? He's not even getting half of that. Where's that other money going that all us paying to try to win the lottery? Is the lottery a game to try to get y'all more money? Right? Let's put this in perspective now. Because if it was a fair deal with the lottery, he would have. I think something fair. He should have got 1.7 billion. If we want to be fair, he should have got more than half the money. You never escape taxes, but but not at once. He would have had to do the other options.
He could have got it all. Of course, taxes. You'll never escape taxes.
Come on now.
But he could have got it all.
That seems like hey, let's keep doing the lottery thing.
Correct.
So whatever
he'd have had to do the annuity
deficit or how we came. What is
Hey.
Now,
And it makes you wonder, like you said, where that money going. That's why they do that, because they know people
Exactly.
gonna want that shit now. Give me it's my, like JG Wentworth. It's my money and I need it now. Like, you ain't giving me my shit over no 30 years. I need my shit now.
ridiculous.
And that's why they know, hey, here's the rule. If you
I
take
just
it
wanna know
now,
where's it
you
going.
only get
And
50% of it.
But yeah,
and then we tax that.
let's see. Let's get this together. We all as a community, as a society.
Where's that money
let's
going?
get this out and let's pass the laws
Very
right.
nice.
Republicans, Democrats, Independents, whatever you are. No, again, I will never say we don't take away, abolish the Second Amendment. No, we have a right, but we don't need to be regular individuals. I don't need to be going to the store and buying shotguns and all these heavy artillery and hanging it up on my walls. I don't need to do that. Sure don't. It shows that do y'all really care about us? If they really cared about us, it's like,
They
hold
sell
up.
guns
Let's
at
make
Walmart.
sure the average
Walmart
Joe
don't give up about
can't
you.
just have a semi-automatic and all that stuff. So it's some work to be done.
Yeah, but and it's the good gotta suffer with the bad. There's a lot of good people out there who is
Absolutely.
that, and that's where you get pushback too, is because there are way more people with those exact guns who
But-
will
but
never
it's-
do what he did.
But you know
But
how
all
many
it
mass
takes is for
shootings
somebody
they
like
had
him
last
to
year?
do
So
that.
let's
make
say,
them
for
say,
instance,
you know what,
if
we
it was
can't
only
even
5
trust
or 10
anybody
people a
with it.
year, but we
No,
getting
we can't
a
take
mass
that
shooting
chance
per day. Like that's what we're getting though. So we get the Vegas, like we get. Yeah. So,
Yeah, and then too, like, and then the things they classify as mass shootings too, like. But these types, like these exact type, kind of where somebody
yeah, way
walks
too often.
into an establishment, school, church, restaurant, whatever, and just offs random people, still way too often. Still way too even if you have 10 a year, because like I said, if I remember reading this correctly, statistics show like already. You said one a day. I think they were saying that like this is the 65th mass shooting this year. We're only 45 days in. That's like 1.5 a day. So, but again, back to the criteria of what they're classifying as a mass shooting is probably, something to make it easy to classify it as. But again, just to hit home on this topic, these type of, like, no beating around the bush. Somebody walks into an establishment and just straight offs people for no reason, no prior beef, no nothing. Just random acts of violence. Even if this is the 4th one this year, we still only a month and a half in. So now you got one every 2 weeks. That's nah. That people live life every day, every 2 weeks, like we talking about, and that's it. Like I might only go to Walmart once a month, twice a month. I don't go to Walmart every day. But if the raid is gonna happen once every 2 months, be like, damn, I go once every 2 months. So not 2 weeks. I'm saying 2 months, 2 weeks. It happens every 2 weeks, and it's like, well, that's the frequency I actually go.
It's sad to say,
so
but
it could happen to me.
More than likely have to
And that's
touch
the
upon
sad,
this
that's
again.
the sad part about it.
I do not look forward to it.
Touchy, man.
And I do not look forward to it. But other hot news, this tip system, man. What's going on?
We
God
will be
went to
revisiting this
Starbucks.
topic. Not at all.
Yeah, God went to Starbucks because, well, first of all, I went to Starbucks a few mornings ago, and they handed me I gave him my
Get
card.
the man
and God was
going
giving
on
me
the
my
tip
card back,
system.
and he gave me the thing, and it said, tip, no tip. I'm like, what the hell? At Starbucks? I mean, I hope they will be making a decent wage, but I was like, no. But I was more baffled of. I'm going through the drive-thru. Why you even asking me for a tip at the drive-thru? Come on now. So, but they had a guy went to Starbucks, and he selected no on the tip, and I believe they couldn't go on a vacation because it was a malfunction, I believe, but he got charged $4,444 tip that he did. And you know, sometimes when you do a transaction like that, especially if it's on a debit card, people, it's not as easy to get your money back as on a credit card. So I'll tell everybody, if you're making big purchases, use your credit card because you can get it back. If something goes wrong at an establishment, you can kind of dispute that a lot better than when you use a debit card. It's just FYI. But yeah, they couldn't go on their trip, and he had to kind of dispute that. I'm not even sure if he got his money back yet. Maybe he has. But my rule of thing on the probably but my rule of thumb is when I go to a restaurant, and I don't have nothing against tipper. Any restaurant
probably
you go
still
to,
pending.
ask anybody. I am a good tipper. You can ask my wife. I'm the one who got her on good tipping because I believe I don't give money to people on the street or homeless people. Because I'll tell you a story real quick. I was driving on the street, called Westheimer, and I asked the guy, I seen him, I was like, man, you know, why are you homeless? Why do you do this? Because he looked pretty happy to me. I mean, I stopped and talked to him, and the guy, he looked pretty happy to me. Like he didn't look.
You stopped,
like,
right? You didn't ask him why you was
would have looked
driving.
sad,
Stopped,
but
right?
he didn't look like. He just was down on life. It looked like he looked, this is my life, I'm accepting it. But he asked me, he said, what's the minimum wage in Texas? Very intelligent, by the way. He's like, what's the minimum wage in Texas? I said $7.25. He said, man, I make more than that in an hour on Westheimer with tax free. I said, all right, man, see you later. That was some cool that was some cool stuff. You know, that was some cool. That was some cool stuff. So he like, and my mom's like, why work at McDonald's doing all that hard work, man? I could just stay on the street. But I never. Saying that. The reason why I'm saying that, anytime I go to a restaurant, I always start at $20, and then I go up or down, or just stay at the $20. So if I go to a place like Chili's, I'm gonna give 20, but if the service sucks, I'm gonna go down for 20, but I never go below 10. So I always start at 20. So if you my server, you starting off at 20, and it goes up or down, no lower than 10. But the up, if my money right, shoot, and it depends on the restaurant. Like if I go to a restaurant and I spend $400-$500, the tip's gonna be a high tip. If I spend $100, depending on the service I receive, I'll give $30-$40. Depending on the service received, and if I don't have to ask no questions, if my drink filled, if my all this is done, oh, this person rocking, yeah, this person rock, that person thinking when that server thinks
what my
like you
at?
When you sitting down, when you start thinking of a drink and that server start pointing, it ain't nothing like that.
Hey,
you know, and you thinking of it, and that server comes within 30 seconds or a minute and start pouring or refilling your drink. Oh man, it's just like golden. You know, so
Oh, no doubt. And I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with you on that. Go ahead. You know, I got a good homie that's a server. Dude loves doing it. Dead ass. He absolutely loves being a server. And he's that's it. He don't work behind the bar. He hustles tables because it's quick on his feet, light, energetic. What you need, it takes pictures at the tables with the kids. Cuz is great at what he does. His vibe gives you like he's happy to be doing what he's doing for you. What can he get for you? Like automatically makes you like, man, I'm about to tip this man good. But then on the flip side of that coin, you actually got people who serve having a bad day, you know, for whatever reason, and then just, you know, it's almost like it's a burden for them to be there and be at your table. should you better than me. You said you start off at 20 and work your way up or down, don't go below 10. Shit, on if you eating, well, like you said, I'm assuming that scenario's different, but like, you know, on a $50 bill,
Yeah,
that's still 20%. That's a decent tip. But to you,
because I appreciate somebody.
If you only
at least
tipping
trying
10,
to
that was
work.
bad service.
You get what I'm saying? Because I don't
By
give
your
no
standards.
money to nobody.
But
on the street.
but the
That's
waitress
why.
ain't gonna be upset
You know,
with your
and
$10 tip.
That person trying to work, even though they sucked. But if it sucked, I'm gonna leave a review. See, so I'm gonna get a 10, but I'm gonna definitely, my voice is gonna be heard on the service.
Oh, very respectful.
No, like most restaurants, you can leave a review while you're there. You know, you can leave a review on the little thing. Not on the back of the receipt, but
You
some
about to
type
get
of
on
review
Yelp
with
with your
that
ass?
person's name. I'm gonna make sure I know their name, and then I'm gonna leave a review, a respectable review, not one where
On
they
the back
should
of the
be
receipt?
fired or anything, but aware, so it can be like, hey, because it's not my fault you had a bad day. We all have bad days, and some people have bad days, so I understand that. That's why I don't go lower than 10, no matter where I go. So, but I'm also gonna make sure, hey, you need to understand that if you're gonna come to work and do a job, just like I have to do a job, you got to do that job, and don't take what, I don't know you, so don't take whatever's going on with you on me. Just like I won't do that to you, don't do it to me.
That's a fact. That's a fact too. That's a fact too. So, like you said, and me, I'm a, you know, I work my way up and down from, like you said, like 15%, really. You know, depending on the restaurant, depending on, am I paying for just myself? You know, am I paying for a significant other too? So that matters too. But again, I usually start at that 15-20% range, and then I'll work my way up and down from there that way. Because if you give in a 10% tip, that might be looked at like, that 10%, that's not really, again, industry standard hopes you tip 15%. So for whatever that is, take that. But if you're tipping below that, and hey, may as well tell you like a little story on me too. So, you know, me and a good buddy in the college days, man, this is solid, you know, 12, 11, 2010, 2011. We was Hooters fans, big Hooters fans. Loved the wings, loved to go eat. Became regulars. Started to see other people who would come in and be regulars, and then now you cool with the regulars. And you know, obviously, you know the college cliche. You ain't got much money. You working with college students are broke. We wanted to keep going. Obviously, money's running a little thin. What's the first to be given up? It's going to have to be the tip. So the tip started getting less and less, even though our visitations wasn't getting any less and less. Then all of a sudden, like, you know, you see certain things, service, blah, blah, blah. Girls ain't what they used to be. Then one of the girls just slid over one time, cuz, and kept it a buck with us. She's like, you know, y'all cool. Like, we like y'all. Like, for real, we like y'all. But don't know, as of lately, like, none of the girls want to serve y'all because y'all don't tip no more. You know, like, that's it. They see y'all come in, they're like, nah, you can get that table. I'm good. I ain't gonna waste my time with them. No. Like, for real. And it kind of like opened my eyes, like, damn. Like, you know, it makes you think like all over a tip, but then you realize all the work that they was putting in, all the times we laughing and cutting up, they running, getting us more drinks, they doing things was hooking us up because we go frequently. Like, and that's a lot of the things too. You don't realize it comes back to you. You tip somebody real good, hey, you know, they gonna hook you up. When they making you drinks, instead of pouring you the little half a shot of the Henny, they gonna pour you the double shot of the Henny for the same price. But that's because you took care of them. And they don't care about how much liquor you getting. It ain't they liquor. You know, I'm just using that as an example. They don't care about how many French fries you get. You ordered a 10-piece wing. They don't care if you got 15. Ain't they wings? Ain't they money? But when you take care of people like that, it comes back to you. And that's just a little story that, yeah. Tips, yeah. So I'll work my way up and down from there. I'm kind of on your level.
And then
I'll
I
make
have to
sure
say
I
this
give
too,
a good
as
tip for that reason.
As a black man,
but at the same time,
I feel obligated.
Poor performance does,
because
you know
let's
what I
be
mean,
honest. That's why we
you
here
get
on
out
Say
what
It
you
Again
put in.
podcast. Black people aren't known for tipping. So when I give a good tip, people look like, dang, that stereotype. I shouldn't think like that. Black people can tip, and black people do tip. But a lot of times, being a black male going into places, sometimes people be scared. And I notice every time I leave my tips, every single time, and I hate it, but I'm also glad that person's smiling. That person's like surprised. Was at Chili's the other day for my little nephew birthday party, and I left a $30 tip. I think my bill was like $50. Left a $30 tip, but they had a bunch of kids. I'm like, man, that server's doing a whole lot of work. I know how much work they're doing. And my sister, but my sister and them gave one of my sisters gave like $9, and my other sister gave like $8. You know, and I was like, if I'd have gave 10,
yeah, you know them kids,
that wouldn't have been much. So
you know them kids
it's a good thing I did what I did, and I recognized. So I gave up pretty much a lot based on the bill wouldn't being that much. It wasn't even about that. So we have to, and again, everybody's situation different. But everybody's situation different, and it's not to knock anybody who
true
that because we're tipping something. But I'm glad that since I was in that part, I'm like, you know what, I got y'all. I'm gonna make sure I do more, so y'all don't have to do more. It's a collective. Sometimes it's a collective thing. It's if you're in a group, because serving a group is hard. If you're in a group setting, and then like you say, when everybody chilling back doing their thing, like think about picture like at home, you got to get everything yourself. You know, you gotta get up, get your drink, but you chilling back, having your food brung to you, all this stuff, and somebody bringing your stuff. Like, you know, you get to watch your game, do all this stuff, and this person gotta come bring all your stuff, and you just like, they gotta pay attention to you, one another one, and do all this. But
true, yeah,
but yeah, that's what I'll say on it.
It's worthy of it.
It's good to tell. I think it's good to tell. True.
You know.
Okay.
It's a lot of variables that go into me because
probably about
to the instance you
2
just
hours.
put, if I may ask a couple
2 hours.
questions.
It's pretty long time.
How long was the party?
Pretty long time.
Like, how long did she serve you all? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? So now you're looking at two hours. Yeah. 2 hours. Then you look at, like you said, you gave 30. Other family members gave 10, 8, 6, 5, 12. You add all that up, they might have gave between 5 or 10 of them, they might have gave 50, 60, and you gave 30 by yourself. So that's 90. She just made $70 to $90 in 2 hours. Is that a 35? Did she do a $35 an hour job? I didn't give her all 35. But knowing the formula and that other people will be giving money towards this cause too, do I go overboard? Do I not? That I'm just letting you know how other people think on that flip side of that coin too. Because put in perspective, like you said, if that's it, I guess she's got a whole day ahead of her. But if she only served you all for 2 hours, and at the end of you all, she walked away with $100 in tips, she just made $50 an hour. Sign me up. I mean, I get it. It's a hustle. Because the next 2 hours she's about to serve, the table's ain't got probably about a tip at all. Then you got zero.
Absolutely.
And now you just made $100 for 4 hours. And that just went down to $25 an hour. So, you and I know serving, that's a hustle game right there. Again, back to my buddy. He loves doing it. He hustles. But it's a twofold type of thing. He does it so he can get better tips. And then he probably notices he gets better tips. That's why he does it at the same time. So shout out, my man loves it. My man D, he loves his job. And I go to his restaurant.
And another thing, people,
just to have that experience, chop it up with him
from your
That's
friends
it. I
and
get
local
something to eat,
businesses.
and I
Because
like when
you
he
don't ask
serves
for
me.
discount. You don't
break
go
him off
get
a nice
discounts
tip.
from Apple. You don't get discounts
you said.
from the places you go, but you want the hookup from your friend who are a lot smaller than those companies. Nah, take care of them. So my whole goal is I like to take care of the small businesses, the small people, the people who not these big corporations where we don't ask discounts from them, but we won't try to get the hookup with my buddy around the block that's barely struggling to make his business and ends meet. And when I don't have to, when I could just go ahead and pay full price for him and try to get the hookup somewhere for the other thing somewhere else, I'm trying to get the hookup from him. So sometimes people, let's think about that as society. Let's think about let's really think about on the things that we do and who we try to mess over. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't play that stuff when it come to.
That's
You don't play that stuff when it come to your spending your $1,000 on your iPhone or spending your $150 on your shoes. But you want to try to cheat your boy? I want your boy to hook you up. Like, dang, bro, you ain't doing that with them tickets. You ain't doing that with them Beyonce tickets. Like you paying full price to see Beyonce.
You did you? Did you write Ticketmaster and
Exactly.
did you write Ticketmaster and ask them if you can get that for a discount? Did you ask them? Or nah. You probably, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm going to slide through. Hook me up with something, man. Hook me up. Come on, man. Ezel.
But point being said,
that's my point.
Point being said, I will recommend.
I see you doing well over there, bro. I see you doing well over there.
Instead of focusing on,
let me hold something.
Whenever you feel, when you stop at a red light,
hold something.
Giving a person $5 to $10 that's doing nothing for you, that's not even trying to do nothing. Instead of giving them $5 to $10 or whatever you decide to give them, why don't you give that person to your server the next time you go eat at a restaurant? Stop being cheap. And on the flip side, all these fast food restaurants, like all these fast food restaurants, like the Starbucks, all these chains, can we stop the tips? Because y'all trying to, because it puts you. But it puts you in an uncomfortable situation because I go to these places and I pay for my coffee and stuff and they flip it over and it has tip, no tip. I can't just pay and get my receipt. Come on now.
Yeah, I
understand for the pandemic that we had to buy stuff and it had to be brung to us, and a lot of businesses had to survive, and we was tipping because it was being brought to us.
It is.
But come on now. I'm going in an establishment spending money. I'm not sitting down, staying up for an hour. Oh, absolutely. But
nah. Anytime I get those, I just put a line on the tip line. Just put a line on the tip line.
It's a machine. Even at the drop,
zero. I don't even put zero, because zero shows you probably an asshole. I just put a line through it.
It's like what, the coffee already. I'm paying $5-6 for a coffee that should be like 98 cents.
It'd be predetermined. It'd be like you want to get 10%, 15%,
so
25%.
You're already getting 4 or 5 times the price of the coffee. That's insane,
bro.
And then they had nerve, and then they had the nerve to not have my little thing on it, so the cup was hot as hell when I was at Starbucks. I'm like, really? You got the audacity to ask for a tip and then
Columbia
and
coffee.
give me the wrong thing at the drive-thru? Come on now, y'all. Like they say, come on, man. but nah, man. We'll hopefully
the nerve.
They're gonna figure a lot of this stuff out, and I'm gonna continue to always take care of and focus on people who are trying to do something for themselves. And that's to everybody and anybody who gets to hear this. Never give up and always give 110% no matter what you do, because you can make a lot of money being a waiter,
100.
or server, whatever it is you do it to be the best at it. When I was a server at Chili's, I wanted to be the best. And when people came in, they made, hey, I want him. Because I actually don't go to them more like I used to. Man, Applebee's closing down. I mean, again, I don't go to Chili's. It just that's the
know you
last
got a little
place I
love for
went. I don't
Chili's. You
really
done
go no
mentioned
more
it
like
like
I
3
used
times
to
in the
because
past 30
me
minutes,
and
for
the
real.
wifey, we don't go on. I wouldn't say
You coulda
Chili's
said
is a cheap
Applebee's
date,
and shit.
but Chili's is like one of
But
those
you been all
restaurants
on
you can go to
Chili's.
2 for $20. Now since we've graduated, we go to a little bit more upper lunch every now and then. When we do go out to eat, when we don't make our food, we go to a little high upper echelon restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little step above restaurants now that we can do that. We don't do it all the time, but we try to go take care of ourselves because we work hard towards it. Nothing on Chili's or Applebee's or nothing like those restaurants. It's just that when I was younger going to college, I was on a budget. And I think you go to where your budget is. And whatever your budget is, you make the best out of that. I love Chili's to death. I know the whole menu. But everywhere I went, I'm gonna take care of where I'm at in life and stuff like that. So yeah. So hey, but Chili's,
No doubt.
hold up, Chili's baby back ribs. I had to get it out one time.
And then not to mention, he had to get that off one time.
Definitely.
But aside from what you're talking about too, now that I'm gotten older,
but you're not on the red beans and rice
I'm
like me
cold
though.
in the kitchen, bro. I'm
Hey,
nice
you're not-
with the
you're
pots
not on
and
the red beans
pans.
and rice
I
like
think
me.
it's a New
Them
Orleans
beans,
thing,
them
bro.
beans-
I think
them
it's a New
beans,
Orleans thing. Like I'm for real. Like I'm emerald with the shit cup. Stop. Hey, look. Just because you had them
Make you
ready,
wanna smack
just
your
because you had
mama.
them ready when I stepped off the plane
Oh.
and I appreciated them, don't mean it's mine ain't on that level too. I gave you your props on your bees. They was good. But yeah, again, that's that New Orleans thing. We get those red beans so good, make you want to smack your mom.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
And
as a
a
New
lot of
Orleans
great
thing, we
things-
both
a lot of great
know
things
that
going on
if
this
we ain't
weekend.
eating
I'm going
out,
to
we
see
could
Ant-Man.
definitely
I don't know
deliver
about
a
you.
very
I'm going to
good
see
meal
Ant-Man,
at home
Quantumania.
and not have
That's
to worry
gonna
about no
be
tip.
Great. I believe it's All-Star Weekend as well. All-Star Weekend is meh, but it is.
Let's
Whatever. But Ant-Man and Quantumania. Yeah, but what do you think about that Ant-Man?
That's what it is.
Quantumania? New Conqueror of the
Yeah.
King. We love. By the way, y'all, we love Marvel. We love our movies.
Back to what I said.
Haven't got a chance
glorified
to get into it
exhibition
yet,
game.
but we love it.
Glorified.
They keep winning.
All the way. Oh, all the new movies coming out, we definitely giving critical
I
opinions.
don't think so.
Movie
I didn't.
buff
No,
right
we didn't
here.
talk about Black Panther. No, we didn't.
Marvel movies is great.
No, we didn't. It was horrible.
Again,
FYI. Black Panther.
I think that we
was
kind of
horrible.
talked about Black
I
Panther a
did
little
not
bit.
like it. I didn't like the mom being killed.
We might have touched on it a
was
little bit.
supposed to be discovered
Then we-
in Wakanda. How the hell they under my boy Dr. Umar Johnson said it the best. If y'all want to know what he said, leave it at that. I can solely agree with him. Pretty much locked up because that movie could have been so much better. We only saw 10 to 15 minutes of the Black Panther, and I'm trying not to curse. I really
check
want to
it out.
curse, but I know my mama might listen to this, so I'm trying not to curse. But I only saw 10 to 15 minutes of the actual Black Panther in the movie. Come on now, y'all. Do better. Director, I mean, you already messed up, but
He said,
I could have done better. You should have recast T'Challa. I'm sorry. Recast him. I know it would have been
Correct.
tough, but we deserve, as black folks, with our black superhero, for him to be recast in a better product on the screen for what we went paid to see.
I agree, especially on the part about them only having 10 minutes of Black Panther, which to me was ultimately terrible. Even though the little sister played Black Panther, you gotta give me more in the soup. You can't just give me literally the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. and which is why, if you remember why I told you, I genuinely myself, why I really like the new Batman with Robert Pattinson, is because that's actually, to me, was one of the
Bruce
first
Wayne.
Batman movies that starred Batman. The movie was what? 2 hours and 50 minutes?
I agree with you.
He was Batman like 2.5 hours. He literally was Bruce Wayne for like 25 minutes. For like 25 minutes.
I fell asleep in the movie theater. It was too long, number one.
So
All
it would
that long
starring
movie,
Batman.
not
That's
the-
why I really liked
and it's
it.
featuring
Black
some
Panther in the
water
title.
creatures?
I need more Black Panther.
Come on, man.
No, dry. It's dry. Like we said, me and you have said it like a handful of times. We could watch long movies.
And let me be
Batman's
honest.
damn near 3 hours. We can watch
I do
long
not
movies.
always like.
Can't watch a
female
dry ass movie.
fighting.
That's like a Popeye's biscuit
A
with nothing
male
to drink
figure.
at 2 a.m. and they stay
Like, they should have made the villain, if they were going to make
No
her a Black
good.
Panther, a female villain. They'd been more suitable. It'd have been more. It's a better feel to it. I disagree with her fighting the male guy. He was totally way better. Let's be honest. He was way better. She wasn't gonna beat him, but I just don't like that dynamic of the man and the woman fighting. I just in certain scenarios, absolutely, but that doesn't always have to be, because you can kind of tell. I wasn't with that as well. I thought that was a little bit weak on his part. So do better for the next ones, hopefully. And I just hope we get more Black Panther. I hope Ant-Man lives up to the hype like it should. And they say Black Panther will return. I just hope when Black Panther returns, it's a better product that we get and that we deserve. That is correct.
It could be, because if you remember how it ended, now you have his son. So again, it's a lot of different ways they can go with it, but essentially, let's hope that is the forward progression of now to, like you said, to iterate your point, get a black male back into the role, a prominent role, okay, a prominent role to lead. And then, essentially, like you said, that's what it lacked. It lacked a lot of male presence again. And like you said, now you find good movies that have that balance. Hopefully the future ones have that. But as far as Ant-Man, I'm expecting big things from Ant-Man, because Ant-Man has always been an under-the-radar type of superhero who your boy Paul Rudd has just phenomenally played Scott Lang. And Ant-Man, and he's legit. I got to get that man his props. They cast it good. I like the direction they went with. They didn't go with Hank Pym. They played him Michael Douglas, older guy.
Yes,
I'm liking it. I do got to go back and catch up on that Loki series so I can see how your boy comes around.
Yeah, I'm expecting big things.
He's a cold ass actor too.
Watch that Loki whenever you get the
he's
chance.
Nice. I think
shout out to Jonathan Majors.
He's gonna play the hell out of that role.
I think he's gonna be good.
I'm expecting
Creed
big
3
things
as
from
well.
him.
He's coming on the scene. Been seeing a lot of his movies. He's giving me motivation. I need to get more into him working out. Dude's a beast, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's motivation. So
yes,
love it.
Yeah, he is.
Woo. Yeah, I mean,
he is.
I know, right? Let me get pumped.
Hey, in Creed 3, he really about to be putting
I can be like, look what I did.
A lot of scenes with no shirt,
I'm a little buff now.
Gonna make me feel some type of way.
But nah, it's all good and fun. I'm excited to see it this weekend. I'll probably go see it. Probably Sunday. Got some stuff to do this weekend, so I'll probably go knock that out on Sunday.
Right.
It'll be a good time. I haven't been to the movies in a while, since Black Panther, so it'll be great to see. I think it was November. Yeah, when I got back. Yeah. I can't remember. I just know I went and saw it in November. So whenever it came out, so it's been a while. It'll be my first time going to the movies in a while. So I'm excited for that. And
I'm saying when that Black Panther
that's
come out.
what we got for y'all today. Anything
like
you
that.
wanted to say in particular,
Something
man?
like that. Yeah. Nothing, man. I just want to, lastly, condolences. Say that again, man. A lot of things going out. Obviously, we touched on a lot of topics to wrap it up. We talked about the train derailment, which is a horrifying situation that could affect millions. Then you got mass shootings, Michigan State University. Again, condolences out to them and their loved ones. Condolences, man. There's a lot of things going on that just need to be taken into account.
Yeah, say it.
Shout out again. Lastly, Tyree Nichols and his family and how they holding up. Times don't get easier. You just come stronger and learn how to deal with them. Say that again. Times don't get easier. You just get stronger and learn how to deal with them. Say that again. All right. Every day. And with that being said, we want to thank y'all for listening to the full episode of Say That Again podcast. I've been your boy AG the OG with my man KG the Kid, and this is what we deliver. Peace.